Hi guys, I just wanted to do a weekly book talk on the assigned reading for the week of April 13th through the 17th. Now, The Outsiders for chapters 1 and 2, it basically just gives us an overview of who's in the book and kind of what's happening. Now, this one, your chapter 1 and 2 is due on Friday, and I will post a short quiz on Friday that you have until Sunday to get done. Now let's get started. Ponyboy Curtis is probably one of the best characters to be a narrator. Why? Because he's 14. 14, you're old enough to know what's going on, but you're young enough to be innocent and open-minded. He is smart, he's in advanced classes, but he's also the type of kid, 14-year-old kid that wants to go to a movie by himself to enjoy it rather than talk with his friends. Now the Curtis family, this is Pony and his brothers. They lost their family a little while ago. So Derry, at 20, has to be the father and the mother. He's really strict and protective. He's the one that makes Pony keep his curfew, makes sure that he does his homework. Soda Pop, on the other hand, 16, is the nurturing one. He's the one that listens to Pony. At the end of chapter 1, Pony has said he loves Soda Pop, but said he really can't say the same thing about Derry. Now the other guys, you got Johnny Cade right here, 16 years old, and Pony's best friend. He has a really abusive household, but he found a family with the Greasers. He's got a scar. Sorry about the spelling error. He got a scar on his face from being jumped recently, but he also has emotional scars. Why? Because before he was pretty happy-go-lucky, now he's paranoid and he carries a switchblade. Over here, Tom Cruise character, that is Steve Randall. He is Pony's best friend. He works with them at the gas station. Two-Bit over here is the oldest member of the gang, wisecracker of the bunch. Then you have Dallas Winston. He's the one with a reputation. He was arrested when he was 10, spent 3 years on the wild side of New York. In the book, it says that he has white hair that is long and kind of oily. He has the grease that all of them have in their hair. Okay, one of the questions on chapter 1 was what's the difference between a gang and a pack? Pony said this himself. Greasers were the gangs. What did he mean by that? They stick together and they help each other out, kind of a family environment. On the other side, you have the Socs, which are the quote-unquote rich kids. But he characterized them as a pack. Why? Because they're wild, uncontrollable groups of thugs. He equated them to animals in a pack. Now let's fast forward to number 2. I'm not going over all these. Why? Because I don't think you guys would listen to the whole video. Ponyboy is really protective of Soda Pop. When he talks about him as a dropout, he really doesn't like that term. Why? Because he thinks it's unfair. Pony believes that Soda Pop is smart in his own way and doesn't really deserve that title. But in reality, he did. He's 16 years old, and he's kind of destined for a life of lower paying jobs. Okay, number 6. Big bad Dallas Winston. When Johnny got jumped, he looked like he was kind of sick to his stomach. What are some reasons for this? He has a softer side. He cares about Johnny, and sometimes when you care about somebody, that's kind of painful. But another reason could be, and this is just kind of like spitballing, but he could have lied about his reputation. He could have lied about New York. Maybe he's not as tough as he appears. It's kind of a gray area. Okay, 8 and 9. This is the Cherry Valance and the drive-in movie thing. 8 says, is Pony's little formula for how guys treat girls. Really, what he was talking about is if a guy knows a girl, they're respectful. But if they don't, and they're strangers, they're rude and disrespectful, just like Dally was to Cherry. What does Cherry do when he brings back the sodas? Cherry throws it in his face and Marcia drinks it. What does that mean? You choose. It kind of says something about the characters. Ponyboy does have has a lot of respect for Cherry. Why? Because of her bravery. She stood up to Dallas Winston, who has this big bad reputation. She stood nose to nose, and he really likes that.
Hey, Soda Pop. Yeah, I ain't got no cash. Riding with your weapon. Come on, Valley. Money, so.
What's the movie about? Come on, Dallas. Huh?
I don't know, John. One of those beach movies, you know, they put out a whole bunch. Hey, I see you guys playing my grass, huh? What are you doing? Give me those cards, please. Guys, ever play 50 pickup?
Yeah.
What? They get wax. I don't like little kids. I don't like them. I just. This guy's getting dark. Let's go.
Let's go, man. I don't have enough money. Hey, baby. You want to see what's hanging? You sure you want to do this? I came here to see a movie, and I'm going to see a movie.
Please. Why didn't you bring a coat, stupid?
God.
Some cute redhead, huh? Are you a real redhead? Huh?
Come on now.
Are you real? How can I find out if this is your real red hair?
Put it out
If
there.
this is the same red hair that you have on your these eyebrows too. Is it?
Put it out there. Get your feet off my chair and shut your trap.
Who's gonna make me, huh?
I'm going to get a coat.
Who, your boyfriend?
Leave her alone, pal.
That's
Get
because
me one,
just
John.
got out of some jail or something.
Yeah, sure. What did he say, honey?
You better leave us alone or I'll call the cops.
Oh my! You got me scared.